And now for our next part of the program, this is the Green Valley Advanced Band. I am going to be very sorry to see these students leave at the end of this year. They're going to be missed greatly. I'm going to keep a couple of them, but most of them are going to be going away next year. This is the band that did their first year of band on a video screen. This is the group that, due to COVID and everything, we were all at home sitting on our bed, practicing, playing. And the fact that they stuck with it and the fact that they're sitting here today is a testament to them and you for supporting this and keeping this going. So I couldn't be prouder of these guys, the struggle that they went through to get things going, and the fact that they're here sounding as good as they are tonight is really special. So, our first song we'd like to play for you tonight is an original composition for band called Fire Dance. All right, I'm really excited about this next work. This is the first time I've worked up this piece with the band. It's by a man named Randall Standridge, and this song is called Palette. And what it is a song in 5 different movements, each one representing a different color. We have electric yellow, harvest orange, angry red, royal purple, and verdant green. It is a multi-movement work. Please don't applaud in between movements. Our last movement will be verdant green. When we finish that, please feel free to applaud. And again, each movement will be shown up there on the slides as we go through each color. So we're going to start now with electric orange. Electric yellow, sorry. I'm color challenged tonight. Our next song is a programmatic piece. A programmatic piece of music is a piece of music that tells a very specific story. This story is based on a poem and is centered around events that happened outside of Moscow in 1941. You're going to hear all kinds of things happening, from bombs falling to all kinds of things. To explain it a little better and read you the poem that it's based on, here is Hannah Doty.
Meadowlands, through your heroes now are trending. Red Army heroes of the nation, heroes of the mighty Red Army. Maidens are weeping, their solitary vigils keeping, weeping for their sweethearts who are fighting, fighting in the mighty Red Army. Gay roads are winding, the sunlight on them now is shining. Over them the heroes are passing, heroes of the mighty Red Army. Let every maiden, with heart no longer heavy laden, strike up the singing now more loudly, sing our fighting song so proudly. This song identifies with an extremely important moment during history in the Second World War, in which the Red Army, against all odds, successfully defended Moscow against the German invasion. In October of 1941, German troops were only 15 miles outside of Moscow, an unfavorable situation for the Soviet Union. 2,000 people had already evacuated Moscow, but Joseph Stalin stayed to rally morale. In November, the Germans launched a new attack on Moscow. The Soviet army held their ground and brought the Germans to a halt. Stalin insisted on a counterattack, and although his commanders had doubts, they launched their own offensive on December 4th. The Germans, caught off guard and demoralized by the recent defeat, were pushed back and began retreating. By January, they had been pushed back nearly 200 miles.
For our next song we'd like to do for you is a medley of songs from Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. So without further ado, I've got Siddharth, Frodo, and Kashan, and Ben Samwise Bumpers to give the introduction to this story.
Fellowship of the Ring is the first of the 3 volumes in Lord of the Rings, an epic set in the fictional world of Middle-earth. The Lord of the Rings is an entity named Sauron, the Dark Lord who long ago lost the one ring that contains much of his power. His overriding desire is to reclaim the ring and use it to enslave all of Middle-earth. When the eccentric hobbit Bilbo Baggins leaves his home in the Shire, he gives his greatest treasure to his heir Frodo, a magic ring that makes its wearer invisible. Some years later, Gandalf reveals to Frodo that the ring is in fact the one ring, forged by Sauron the Dark Lord thousands of years before to enable him to dominate and enslave all of Middle-earth. Gandalf tells Frodo that the ring must be destroyed to defeat Sauron's evil, but he also warns him that the enemy has learned of the ring's whereabouts from the creature Gollum and will seek to find it and kill its bearer. Despite the danger and hopelessness of the quest, Frodo accepts the burden and resolves to take the ring to safety of the elven stronghold.
Frodo sets off with 3 companions, fellow hobbits Merry, Pippin, and Sam. After a series of close calls and misadventures, they reach the town of Bree. They meet a human named Strider who leads them cross-country, hoping to avoid the Black Riders who are watching the road, but they are attacked near the ancient watchtower of Weathertop. The 9 riders try to force Frodo to surrender, but a flood destroys their horses even as Frodo collapses in unconsciousness. Frodo wakes in Rivendell, where Elrond works his healing magic to save the Hobbit. Soon, Elrond calls a council of representatives of elves, men, and dwarves to respond to the glowing darkness of the world. The council decides to destroy the One Ring by throwing it into the fires of Mount Doom, where it was created deep in Mordor. Frodo accepts the task of carrying the ring to Mordor, and the company is selected to help him on the quest. The men Boromir and Aragorn, Legolas the elf, Gimli the dwarf, and Frodo's own hobbitkin, Merry, Pippin, and Sam.
Even if they do not have Sauron to fear, Saruman the White has allied himself with the enemy and seeks the ring for himself. They resolve to brave the perilous dwarven mines of Moria, now overrun by orcs. When the 9 have nearly found their way out, they are attacked by orcs and a Balrog. Gandalf holds it back so the party can escape, but then he falls into the abyss. Devastated by the loss of Gandalf, the Fellowship flees into the elven wood of Lothlorien. Lady Galadriel shelters them for a while and offers wise counsel. When the Fellowship leaves, she gives them boats to continue their journey down the river Anduin. Orcs attack them while traveling downriver, and they feel the presence of a winged black rider overhead, but they make it to the lawn of Parthagalin unharmed. There they must decide whether to turn for Mordor and Mount Doom or go to Minas Tirith. Boromir tries to force the issue by seizing the ring from Frodo, but the Hobbit escapes. Frodo resolves to set out alone for Mordor, reluctantly accepting Sam's steadfast refusal to stay behind.
And now we will bring that to life for music.
This is the Great Locomotive Chase, and this is a story about a train that was traveling to Atlanta to Chattanooga. This was no ordinary train. It was a train that the Confederates used, and a man by the name of James Andrews stole it. When he stole the train, he had picked up 11 other Union soldiers to go with him across the 138th journey.
The men were all wanted because they had tried to assassinate a man named General Buell. General Buell was not your average everyday man. He was a spy disguised himself as a normal citizen. The Confederates wanted the train back, and that is how they the locomotive chase.
And we've been working really hard to bring this coordinated video with you that goes along with it to help us visualize the story. So please enjoy. All right, now comes the hard part. We got to get all this cleaned up, so if everybody wouldn't mind helping bring this stuff down to the band and percussion, if you could help start coordinating the percussion instruments, that would be great. Thank you all for coming out this year. Thank you for supporting band. It means a lot to all of us. Thank you, thank you, thank you.